Great, welcome back once again. In the last video, we have built all the important component and also we have completed our entire staking page. In this video, we're going to deploy the contract and we're going to attach the functionality. The functionality is already attached. All we have to do is to test that. So here I have opened the project. You can see this is what we have worked in the last video. We have simply copy and pasted all the component we have built in all the pages. Come back to the browser and here I have started the application. You can go to the different pages, project. All you have to do is to change this breadcrumb titles, staking, and here we have built. That's what we have built. We have the contact, we have the initialize, we have the profile. So now we're going to work on the initialize. So all this component styling, you can click and you can come up here. The search bar is working fine. You can come back to the code and now we have to simply deploy the contract. So let's close this one, come back into the web3 folder. I have already provided this. Open that one and here we have written all the smart contract. So we don't need to take this log contract, so simply delete this one. I was testing for something, so I have this one, and we have this initializable, onable, all the contract, and here we have the remix, which I have explained that why I have created this file in the final code. Okay, so all of this contract we have, and this one is the optional one. If you want to deploy your contract using remix ID, you can definitely copy the entire smart contract in one single file and you can call the function. So I will show you the both way. I'll show you the both way, that how you can deploy the contract using hardhat or how you can use the remix ID and deploy all the contract together. I'll show you the both way. So all of this thing, all the function we have here looks pretty good. And what we can do is come back here in the open the new tab and come back to the blockchain coder. And if you come back to the source code section, if you go to this video, if you click on that, in this video I have explained that how you can deploy the entire smart contract in with the help of remix ID. So make sure to watch this video if you have any confusion about this remix.sol file. So let's close this one and now we can open our terminal and we have to install all the dependency we need. Have to install the hardhat. So let's get into the folder. So we'll go into the web3 folder. So let's say cd web3 and we have to close this one, open package.json file, and these are the two packages we need. So simply install that one, npm I, and it's going to install the packages. So here the installation is happening really quickly, so just give a moment. And here we have installed all the packages. We have only two packages. Now we have the node modules, which you don't need to worry about it. So come back, bring this down, and we have this one. Now come back to the script folder and here we have the deploy script. So in the starter file you will get this particular script file. So what I will do is, so you can see that we are deploying our staking contract, but I also want to deploy my token contract as well. So what I can see, this is the token staking contract we are targeting here, and if you come back here we have to deploy the token as well. So this is the two contract I have to deploy. So I'll come back here and let's copy that one. Let's call this staking contract. Let's format this one. Come here, let's call this one token contract. Copy this one and paste here. And we can come here, we'll say contract address. Copy and paste here, and this will be the token. So we are done with the setup. All we have to do is to pass the name of the token contract. So come back here in the contract, come back into the token, simply copy the name of the contract. So copy the name, come back here and paste here. Simply copy, and we have to rename this one. So I'll select this one, I will make it small t, not capital T. And simply grab that one and we have to call it here so we can get the token address. And this is what you have to do exactly. So close this one and now we are ready to deploy our contract. So close this one. Now come back to the hardhat config file and here we have to do the important configuration. So I have already done all the configuration So once you will get the starter file, all of this configuration it will be there. All you have to do is to paste the private key of your wallet. So all the configuration I have done, all the optimization for the smart contract is done. All you have to do is to paste your private key of your wallet. So what I will do, come open the browser, come back to the application, click on the MetaMask, log into the application, MetaMask. Click on the MetaMask, come here, click on this account, click on this three dots and click on this account details. And here you have to simply pass your private key and copy this. And that's what you have to paste in your config file. So here we have the private key of our wallet, and here we are simply calling that account to the network. So come back to the browser, and before you make the transaction and deploy your contract, you have to have a Matic coin, because we are going deploying our contract to the Polygon. So you have to have a faucet which you can use to deploy. So to get that, you can simply come here and simply look for the Polygon faucet. Click on that, click on the very first link, and from here you can get it. Or there is a multiple provider, so you can simply paste your wallet address, and it will throw error when I will try to transfer, because I have already done in the morning. So if I click on that, click on confirm, the transaction is failed because I have already done in the morning, and I already have enough Matic which I can use to transfer and deploy our contract. So make sure to have the faucet in your MetaMask wallet, and now we can deploy that one. So come here. So come back to the hardhat config file. So if you have any error related to the hardhat, the documentation is absolutely amazing. Hardhat have explained every single thing which you have to do for the deployment. So open this one, come back to the hardhat, and this is the place where you can find all the solution about your deployment error if you're deploying a contract with the hardhat. So you can come here. Here we have written the test. So this is the first command we have to write. Simply copy that one. Then we have to, if you want to deploy the contract locally, this is the command you have to type. And if you want to deploy it to any network, this is the script we have. Simply copy that one. Come back here, split the terminal, and first we have to pass our npx hardhat node. Hit enter, and that will start your local blockchain, and it will give you 20 plus accounts. So you can use this account to test your contract locally, and each account contain 1000 ethers, 10,000 ether. And now we have to call the deploy script. So if you can come back here, so this is the script we have to call now, which will deploy our token. So we are using Polygon, we are not using localhost. Simply grab that one, come and paste here, and we have to change the name, provide the name of the network. So go back here, and we have to simply delete this your network, and we'll select the Polygon Mumbai. If you want to deploy to Ethereum, you have to provide the Ethereum or Solana, whatever network you want to pick, and simply come here and hit enter. And it first will compile our contract, and here we got this particular error message, and I know why it's happened. So let's come up here, and this particular error is happening in our remix.sol contract, because what we have done is we have multiple contract in the same file. So when you try to compile that contract using hardhat, it will throw you an error. So what we can do is we can simply delete this remix file. So simply clear the terminal and delete this artifact, delete this cache, because whenever you will compile and deploy a contract, the hardhat will create the artifact, and in that we'll have the ABI of our contracts, and we need those ABI. So what we can do is, here we can see, here we have the remix. This is the entire contract we have, and because of this I was getting an error. So I will simply delete this one. But later we need, if we want to deploy our contract using remix ID, then we have to simply pass the entire contract in single file like this, and we have to simply deploy. So remove this file for time being. Looks pretty good. Close this one, and now we can start. Let's stop this internal blockchain, and let's restart one more time. So here we have it started, and whether you start or not, it will work fine. So let's first pick the network. It will compile our all 8 contract. You can see it's taking a little bit time, means it's compiling, and it will deploy, and it will give us the address of both the contracts. So here we got the address of the staking contract and we have the address of the token contract. So we need these addresses. So simply copy this address, come back here in the JS folder, and we have to go into the header. So this is the common JS file, not in the common header. And here we have to pass the contract addresses. So this is the exact thing you have to do. If you want to provide 4 different contract or more than that, simply deploy the same contract multiple times and paste the address here. So I'm going to simply paste the address in the 7 days. So remove this one, and this is the newly deployed contract address. I'll say new, and we have the token contract. Simply grab that one, copy and close this one, and we have to pass our token address, paste. So this is the token address. So we have the new. So far so good. Now what we can do, you can even test this deployment. Come back here in the polyscan and let's check that our contract is deployed or not. In the polyscan Mumbai, click on that, paste your address, hit enter, and you can see our contract is deployed 1 minute ago. Same thing for the token contract. Copy, come here and paste here, and the contract is deployed. You can see it's deployed successfully. So things are looking pretty fine, and you can see we have deployed our token and contract, and we have pasted their address in the header file as well. Make sure you have to do the same thing. Now close this one, and now we have to get the API of the contracts. So let me make it big and close this one. Come back to the artifact folder. Inside the artifact you have this contract, and in that you will find all the contracts API. So we need the 2 API, staking contract API and the token API. So open this one, and this is the entire API of our contract, and we need this one. This is the API. Simply copy this one, and that's what we have to pass in our header. So come here, and here we have this one. Open this one, close this one, and here we have to pass the API. Simply paste here, come up here, and looks fine. So this API can be used in all the different contract because we are not making any changes. So the API would be the same. So this is the API of our staking contract. Now we have to get the token contract API. Simply get that one. So open that one. This is the API. Simply grab that one. Come back here in the header, and that's what we have to pass here. Paste here. So this is the API. So this is the exact setup you have to do. Again, I'm telling you, this is the exact setup you have to do. Close this one, and close this one, come back here, close this one. Now we have to open this particular file. So you can see that we have all of this file, common JS, header, and this index, and that's file we have to connect here in the staking. So we have to simply go all the way down, and the order is very important. Let me tell you what I mean by the order. So this is the staking area, and we have already connected all the functionality. Everything is already connected. Close this one and bring all the way down. So this is the entire JS file for all the animation and for the stylings and all. And we can come here in the Web3 section, and this is the exact order you have to follow. If you don't follow this particular order, your application, your functionality is not going to work. So first we have to provide this library, because library will be on the top, so its variables will be available in the global object. So the way you will define the JavaScript file, it will be available like that. So first we'll define our library. So I'll simply copy this one and paste here, and I'm going to remove this entire one. So first we have to get into the JS folder, and from there we have to get the Web3 library first. So again, I'm telling you, you have to follow this particular order. First Web3 library, then the header, then the common, and then we have the index.js file. So this is the order you have to follow. Simply copy that one, paste here 4 times, and now we have to follow this order. So the second will come the header, because in header we have the global objects, the global variable we have defined. This is the file. So first library, then the header, then we have to define the common JS file, because in that we have the common files, the functionality which will trigger the provider. Okay, looks fine. Now we have to provide this index which has all the function. because this index file is dependent on all the other files we have in the project, and this will work fine. If you save it, come back to the browser, it will automatically trigger the MetaMask. If you reload that one, and again it's taking a bit time, and I'm already connected with the application. So if I log out, it will trigger the MetaMask, and here you can see the MetaMask triggered. Our notification bar is also working fine. We can display the error message that we are not connected, and the error message is displaying. You can simply type the password and click on unlock, and here we are in the application. And right now you can see we are trying to fetch the information about this particular contract, but we haven't initialized the contract. So you can see it has the demo data. If you reload the browser, you can see it's fetching the information from the contract, and it has 0 0 0, everything 0, because we haven't initialized the contract. So as I told you that once you deploy the contract, after that we have to initialize the contract, and we have to pass all the information like amount, the maximum token, minimum token, what is the unstaking fee, all this data we have to provide. So we have to initialize our contract. So you can see everything is working fine. We are fetching the information and displaying in our component. So far everything is good, we have no issues, and you can see we can easily able to fetch the balance of the token, and we are displaying here. And this is the countdown timer, which is a hardcode data because we don't have the data that. So looks good to me, and that's pretty impressive. Let's have a one more look. And here we have the balance. You can see this is the token I have in this particular. If I open the MetaMask, let's come back here in my header file, and I have this token. Simply copy that one, and I'm going to import this token in my MetaMask. Click on this, come back to the import token, paste here, and click on this. It will take the symbols, and now I have to define the 18 decimal points. So 18, click on add token and import token, and here you will find the token we have imported just now. So this much balance I have, and you can pick any one. And if you come here, change the address, and you do the browser, you will see there is no fund. We are listening for all the events, and everything is 0, and we don't have any token. So let's come back to the account one back and reload the page, and you will find that here we have the amount of the token, and right now we have 0 reward. So things look pretty fine, and you can see we have all this different contract. So if you come back to the 10 days, so here I'm using the old contract, and you will find their information as well. So this is the 32 days, and this is the 90 days contract, which I showed you in the explanation video. In that I use the old contract. In that I show you that how you can deposit the stake, how to stake the token, how you can reward that one. So all the data you will find, and it's displaying perfectly fine in our front end. So this is the actual 7 days contract we have here. Now we have to initialize the contract. So come back here. So what I will do is, I'm not going to create a front end where we can add this initialization function, because that's unnecessary work. So what I will do is, if you come back here in the initialization, you can do one thing. You can create a form. You can take the input field, and you can pass all of the data, and you can create it right up here. But I'm not going to do it, because again I have to write the form, and that's not necessary. So we can use the remix ID for the initialization. Okay, so come here, go back to the fallback, and I'm going to simply remove this one. Come back here, and now we have to simply get all the contracts. Open this one, and now we have to create a, let's create a file called remix.sol, and in that we have to pass all the contract. So you can simply copy, and you can pass here. This is the address contract. Just format that one, and this is what we have to do for all the contracts. Simply grab that one and paste here, because this time we are using remix ID for deployment, so it is absolutely fine. This is the interface. Get that one and paste here. Close that one. Now we have to do the same thing with the initializable contract. No, not like that. Simply we have to get the only abstraction one. Copy this one, get the abstraction and paste here, and we have to get the solidly pragma version as well. So come here, grab this part and paste here. So that looks fine. Now we have to work on the reentrancy. So we have the ownable. Simply take that one and copy and paste here. Now we have to get the version, and that's what I'm going to simply paste here on top. Then we have to take this reentrancy guard class contract, get that one, and paste here, and close this one. Now we have to get the token staking contract, so simply get that one, copy and paste here. That's a huge contract, so let's scroll all the way up, and here we are. Now we have to close this one, and we have to get the version of the solidity. Get this pragma validity and paste here, save it. Looks pretty good. The entire contract we have pasted. So we have the initializer, reentrancy guard, context ownable. We are simply taking the ERC20 interface. We have the staking contract, and I also have imported the token we have. Looks pretty good. And this is what you have to do. Simply select all of this and copy, and that's what we have to paste here in the remix ID. You can see our contract compiled successfully. We have no issues in that. Things looks pretty fine. You can check everything from your end. No issues we have. Again, if you are getting any error, make sure to rewatch the video, try to understand that what we have done. If you have missed something, because of that you are getting the error. But in my case, don't have any error right now. Now we have to simply use injected provider, because we have to deploy to the Polygon, and here it will fetch the balance and the address. So now here we have multiple contract, but the only contract we have to deploy is the staking token. Deploy. Let's bring this up and click on this deploy. And here we are deploying our contract to the Polygon. And once it will deploy, it will give us the instant of our contract. You can see it's deploying. And here the contract is deployed. And here you can see, simply copy the address first. Come back in the VS Code. Go back to the header and come back to the JS, and here you can see. So again we have deployed the contract one more time. So this is the 7 days, and this is the new contract which I have deployed. So what I will do is I'll simply provide this one. So the recent deployed contract here, I will simply take this one, the 7 days, and paste here, and I will simply paste this one here, because by default we're going to trigger the 7 days. So that's why I'm keeping the new contract deployed on top, because that's what we're going to initialize in our remix ID. So simply remove this one. So we have deployed 2 contracts. We have deployed the contract 2 times, but we're going to initialize the 7th one. If you come here we have the entire function we have defined in our contract. You can see, you can check all of the things. So the honor, you can check the percentage, and all of the data you can check. But we have to call this function initializer, because this will update the entire data in the smart contract, that what is the minimum, what is the maximum, what is the percentage ratio, what is the unstaking fees, what is the duration, all the data we have to provide here, the token and the honor. So we have a lot of data to be provided. Percentage, minimum, staking. So first we have to provide the address of the honor. So you can give anybody's address, but I'm going to be honor of the contract. So I'll provide my address. Okay, let's open that one. Let's pass the address. Now we have to pass the address of the token which we allow user to stake. So come here, and this is the token address. Copy that one and paste here. Now we have to provide the percentage. So what percentage reward they will get. So I'll go with the 20%. You can pick anyone. So for 7 days I'll provide 20%. Now I have to provide the minimum staking. So I'll provide that I'll allow user to stake at least 1 token. Okay, so we'll say 1, and after that you have to provide 18.0, because it's in way. So we have to provide 18.0. After 1 we have to provide 18.0. So this is the 18.0. So minimum, the maximum token we allow them to stake is 5,000, because we have created total 10,000 token, but we'll allow them to stake 5,000, not more than that. So 5,000, and now we have to provide 18.0. So provided 18. So minimum staking is 1 and the maximum staking is 5,000. Now we have to provide the start date. So I want to start the contract as soon as I deploy, as soon as I initialize the contract. So that's why I will give 0. You can fix a specific time that you want to initialize the contract after 1 day, when you are calling this function, but I want to initialize as soon as I call the function. So now we have to come back here and we have to search for this timestamp. In this particular contract, I will allow the user to stake the token for 7 days. So this is the month of July, so we have 31 days in July and today is 26 by the time I'm recording this video. So I'll take this 8 because I want to stake for 7 days. So I have 6 days in July and 1 day in August. So what I can do is I can simply provide the 7 days time in future. So I'll take this 8 and here I'm going to decrease this one to 1. So simply decrease all the way to 1 and 1. So 7 days we got it. 7 days in future. Click on this convert and this is the timestamp we got. Simply copy that one and that's what we have to pass in our contract. Come here and simply pass here in the end date, end staking time, and here you have to define the days, so 7 days, and here you have to define the unstaking fee percent. Just imagine that someone staked their token and they want to withdraw the token without completing this time frame, the 7 days time phrase. If they complete after 2 days or 3 days, we have to charge certain percentage. So it's totally up to you. I'll charge 30% and click on this transaction. And here you can see it's going to call our MetaMask and we are calling this initialize function. Click on confirm and let's have a look. So just a moment. Once the transaction is get completed, all the data you will find in our application. So things looks pretty good. Now you don't need to do anything in here. Now come back to the application and here we are in the register page. Click on this staking and it will update all the data. So just wait, the data will come soon. So right now you can see all the data is updated. So we have the 7 days staking period, 20% reward, and we have the unstaking fees. Minimum take staking is 1 and the maximum, this is the hard-coded data I have given. You can simply fetch the actual data from the contract. So you can come back to the contract and what I will do, I will go back to the index one, come back to the function, not this function. Let's come up here. We have to go into the load initial data and here we are calling this. So here we are making the token. So I'm going with this hard code, but you can fetch the information. So what I will do, I'll simply do one thing. I'll simply provide 5,000 and I hope you guys know how to fetch the data because we have done tons of time and I don't want to write again any code in here. So just go with this and here you can see the token is updated and we have all the information and the state is active, means the user can stake the token and this is the balance which is displaying and this is the time. So 5 days 18 hours 27 minutes and 11 seconds is left. After this, the staking contract will not able to take any token. Reload the page and you will find all the information is coming from the contract and this is the previous contract we have deployed. We have nothing in here, it's totally blank. This is the 32 days. So this is the old contract I'm using, which I used in the demo one. You can see I have staked some token in that and displaying fine. Now come back to the 7 days and now we can test all the functionality we have included. So first we're going to stake the token. So first let me do one thing. Let me log out from the application to see everything is working fine. The notification bar is also looking absolutely great and things are looking pretty fine to me. No issues we have. This is the demo data because we are not connected. If you reload that one and it's not fetching the data. First we have to log into the application and here we are in the application. Simply reload the browser and here it will fetch the information from the contract. If you want that user can have the data from the contract without connecting their wallet, you can attach that as well, but I will leave that on you guys. So looks pretty fine and everything is working absolutely great. And now we can stake some token in our contract. So let's come back here and this is the initialize function which is working fine and now we have to call this function stake token. Come here and we can stake the token. So let's do the inspect element and let me show you that how it's going to look. So if you come back here in the application, right now you will find in the local storage I'm storing some other information. So what I will do, I'll simply remove that one. So we have built the logic that after a successful stake, the staking information we are storing in our local storage, so you can able to find here. So what I can do is now let's call the stake function. Let's stake 100 token. Click on stake It's going to open the MetaMask. Yes, it's working absolutely fine. We have the functions. Approve. First we have to approve, and it's going to call the approve function. After the approve, we have to call the stake. So just wait. It's approving, and boom, it's approved successfully. So our token is approved successfully, and now we can simply stake that one. So like you can see, we have approved that one. Now we can simply pass the amount. So reload the browser and simply pass the stake amount. So first it's calling this checking. So if you call without approve, so if you don't pass anything and simply call the function, it's going to throw nothing, but you can display the error message. Now we have to stake the token. Simply pass 100, click on stake, and it's going to open the MetaMask, and we are staking the contract. So first we have to approve the token to be spent in the staking contract. So first it will call the approve function, then it will call the stake function. So here you can see it's calling the function, and it will take place. Just a moment. Once the transaction will complete, it will redirect to the analytical page. And here we are back to the analytical page. You can see here we are redirect to the analytical page, and you will find that we have successfully staken 100 token into this particular contract. You have stored 100%, and we have one staker, and this is our reward we are got, because we are providing high reward at the initial for the very first time. And you can see the balance of the token decreased to this. If you check the inspect element, go to the local storage, you will find that here we have stored all the information. We have stored the information about the user, we have stored the information about the transaction they have done. So if you click on the user, here you will find the information. So this is the amount they have staked, 100 token, the reward, time calculations, all of things. If you come back to the transaction, this is all the data we have stored, and you can display this data in the front end. So it looks pretty good. So we have staked the token. Now what we can do, let's withdraw the token, 50 token. Click on this withdraw, and here we have the withdraw. Call this unstake function, click on confirm. It's going to call the function unstake, and once the transaction will complete, it will redirect to the analytical page, and here we are, the transaction is completed successfully. Now here we have the 50 token in the contract and 50 token, and here you got the token back in your address. But here we have charged the fee 30% because you have taken your token back before completing the 7 days period. It's pretty fine. Now let's do the inspect element. In that we'll have the information about the transaction we have done just now. So we have this two array. This is the first one, and this is the second one for the 50, and you can see the information there. Close this one, and now we have to claim this reward. Click on this claim reward. It will call this functions, click on confirm, and it will give you the reward. So just wait, and here you have successfully claimed your reward. It's fetching the balance. You can see here we have updated the balance, and right now you have this much. If every single thing is working fine, we can fetch the information about the 7 days. And now let's try to withdraw the other 50%. So let's come back to the 7 days, and let's try to withdraw the other 50 token. So let's do the inspect element, and in that you will find that we have this 3 array of the transaction we have done. So let's try to withdraw the other 50. So I'll take the 50, withdraw, and it's going to make the transaction. Let's call confirm, and just click on the MetaMask to see. So here we are calling the function. Just a moment, it will happen very quickly. So once the transaction will complete, you will have a 0 token stake. So come back here, and you can see we have 0 token and no user, and we have this much reward. You can claim the reward, and you can make it 0. So click on confirm, and just a moment, click on the MetaMask, and here the transaction completed, and the reward is 0 and all the token you got back. And the same thing you have to do for other contracts. So simply deploy the contract one by one, set the initializer value, and user are ready to deploy our token. So it looks pretty good. I hope it works exactly the way I showed you here, and everything's working absolutely fine. We have no issues in the functionality. Simply close all of these things. So all you have to do is to simply deploy the contract and paste their address. This is the exact ABI because we are not doing any changes in the contract. But if you do any changes in the contract, make sure to paste the API, relevant API. Close this one, and close this one. So we are done with this entire Web3 file and the contract deployment. Now we have to work on the data. So right now we have data in the local storage and we have to display in the user profile in the analytical section. So looks pretty good. Come here. These are all looking good. We have no issues so far. Things are absolutely perfect. So what we can do is click on the profile, and that's what we have to work now. So come back here in the VS Code, come back to the analytical, and here we're going to simply just display all the historical data, all the transaction data, all the user information. That's all we're going to work on it. So we have already done the hard work. We have already built the components. All we have to do is to build one or two components and the page would be ready. So this is the analytical section. Copy, paste here, and this will be the analytical. So looks good. Come back here. Now bring it here, and now we can start working on the component. Every single thing is working fine. Come here and let's format all of these components. So this is the bread component, and now we have to work on the middle section. So let's format this one, and the rest would be fine. We don't need to do anything in here. So come here and we'll work on the middle section. So we'll take this project area section. We can comment this, copy and paste here. This will be the end section. Come here, take a section. It will have a class project area. We'll say explore area. It will have a div. It will have a class called container. Inside that we'll have a div. It will have a class called raw. Justify content center. Inside that we'll take a div. It will have a class called column 12, column middle 8, and we'll have the column large 7. Inside that we'll take a div. It will have a class called intro text center. Inside that we'll take a div. It will have a class called intro content. Inside that we'll take a span. It will have a class called intro text. Inside that we'll take the transaction, save it, and looks pretty fine. Now come here, we'll take this h3. We'll have a class called margin top 3 pixels and margin bottom 0. Your profile, that looks good. Now we can come here, take a div. It will have a class called contract user. Inside that we'll have a div. It will have a class called contract user profile. In that we'll take an image and we have to display the avatar. Looks good. Now we'll come here, we'll take a div. It will have a class called contract user profile info. Inside that we'll take a p. It will have the strong tag and we'll say address. Come here, we'll take a span. It will have a class called contract space. It will have the strong tag, and in that we'll display the address. So replicate this couple of times, and now we have to pass the actual data which we want to display in these spam. So right now we are just saying address, but we have to display the actual data. So come here, let's do the inspect element, go back to the local storage because we already have the data there. Bring it here. This is not this one. We have to go to the user and we have to get all of this values. Copy and paste here. Do the same thing for this. Copy, paste. This is the reward. Copy, paste, claim reward, paste, and we have the stake amount, paste here. So we got all of this. Now simply close that one. That's how it will look on the phone. So this is the entire profile section where we are displaying all the analytics of the user. Now we can come here, we'll take a P, it will have a class called contract para, and you can display some dummy text. So I'll just reduce a couple of things. That's good. Now come here, we'll take a div, it will have a class called row, it will have a class called explore items, and we'll say inner data user transaction, and this is what we use to inject the data with the help of JavaScript. So we have this data user transaction. Come here, in this we'll take a div, it will have a class called column 12, column medium 6, call large 4, and we'll have the item, we'll have the explore item. Inside that we'll take a, let's assign our data groups ongoing, and this will be the ended. Open this one, we'll take a div, it will have a class called card, it will have the project card. Inside that we'll take a div, it will have a class called medium, it will have the anchor, and we'll take this project details. Inside that we'll have an image, we'll say assets, image, content, and we have to go to the thumb. So it's quite big, we have to add the classes. So let's add the class. We'll take this card image top avatar max large, so looks good. Come back here, we'll take a div, it will have a class called medium body large 4, and we'll have our anchor project details, and we'll take the h4, it will have a class called margin 0, and we'll display this hardcode data. We can simply come here, we can take this div, it will have a class, and we'll say down times, it will take this h1, it will have a class my 2, then we'll take this transaction, and the number is going to be 1. So that looks pretty good. Come down, we'll take a div, it will have a class called countdown deflex. We'll take this data, and we want to assign 2022 6, and we'll have this 30. So looks good. Come here, we'll take a div, it will have a class called card body. Inside that we'll take a div, it will have a class called items, then we'll take a div, it will have a class called single item. Inside that we'll take a span, it will say amount, we'll take another span, and we'll display the value. So that's how it will look. Simply copy this one and replicate couple of times. So this will be the gas, this will be the status. Let's change this value to something, and this one is something. So status is going to be true. So that looks good. We have the data, you can display as many data as you want, but I'm going with this 3 data because all the data we have available in our local storage in an array. So come close this one, come here, we'll take a div, it will have a class called project footer, it will have a deflex, align item center, margin top 4, margin bottom 5, we'll have some space. Come down, we'll take an anchor, we'll take this let's build this URL because we have to redirect the user to the polygon so they can verify the transaction. So this is the link, and all we have to do is to send the transaction hash. So simply provide this one and we'll say transaction hash. We're going to feed this data dynamically. So let's give this double quotes, looks pretty good. Now come here, we can say this transaction. So here we have, okay, I made some things. Okay, come here, let's provide the classes. We'll say button, we'll take the button border white and button smaller, so we have this one. It's pretty fine. Now you can see, you can click and you can redirect to the polygon, so our router is also working fine, and that looks good to me. Close this one, and now we have to display the social icon. So we'll take a div, it will have a class. We'll say social share margin left auto, and that will take a ul. It will have a deflex list unlisted. Inside that will take a li. It will have an anchor, and we have to display our icon, the social icon. So we'll take this first icon, is going to be our Twitter icon. Then simply replicate this couple of times. So we have to display 4 different icons. So this will be the, let's say, Telegram. Now this will be the global, and this will be our Discord. So looks good. We have this 4 different icons, and all the icons are looking absolutely amazing. So beautiful. You can see we are saving, we are having this reloader is also looking fine. Now come here, we'll take a div, it will have a class called blockchain icon. We'll take an image, and we have to display the network icon. So we'll display Ethereum by hard coded, but we're going to make it dynamic. Looks good. And this is the entire code we have to write here in the analytical page. We have run with all the components. All we have to do is to populate the data with the help of JavaScript. So we have this analytical component, we have this card which is ready, and this one is looking good. Now all of things are looking absolutely amazing. So we have built the entire skeleton. So let's have a one more look. Body, this is the transaction component, and let's call this target blank. So if you click, it will come back to the new page. So it looks good. Let's do the inspect element, and let's go back to the application, and here we have all the data. Now we have to get this data, and we have to simply render in the front end. So close this one, and things looking good. We don't need to do anything in here, everything's fine. This is the staking, is also looking absolutely great. Now we have to work on the JavaScript. So here we are in the file, make it big, come here, and now we have to go into the JavaScript folder, click on this data. Inside the data we have this user transaction file, click on that, and here we have to write all the logic for getting the data from the local storage and injecting in our front end. So that's what we're going to do it. So first we have to take a variable called user transaction, and we'll say JSON pass, and that we have to target the local storage get items, and we have to give the key pair. So we'll say transaction. So this is the one key pair we have. Simply come here, we'll take a user data, we'll say JSON parse, and we have to get the user data from there, and we have to provide the key pair which is a user capital. So we are getting the data from the local storage. Now we have to simply render it. Now we have to write the function which allow us to convert the timestamp into time. So let's call it generate countdown. Inside that we'll take a variable called now, and we'll use the JavaScript date method, get date. Once we have the date, now we have to take the minutes, we'll take the math floor, and we have to simply make this calculation. So we'll take the now, then we have to simply percentage, and we have to simply 60. So this will give us the minute. Now we have to get the second. We have to do the same thing. We have minute, we have second. Let's come here, we have to simply return the time and build that one. So minute, second, and that's the function we have ready. Now come here, we'll take a variable, and now we have to get the elements in which we have to inject the data. So we'll target that contract transaction list. We'll say document dot query selector, and we have to pass the class. So data user transaction. So this is the class we have given. So if you come back here, copy this one, come back to the analytical and simply try to find it out. So here you can see we are simply injecting this injecting the component inside this div. So come here, so we have got this one. Now we have to get the user one, so we'll say user profile document dot query selector, and we have to get the user. So we'll say dot contain contract user. So we got the user, we got the transaction. Now we have to build the logic. So we'll take this variable called user transaction history, and we have all the data here. User transaction, we're going to simply loop over it, map. So we'll say transaction and index, and we have to return the entire HTML. So we'll take this return, we'll take this template literal, and in that we have to write the entire HTML, and which we have already written. So all we have to do is come back here in the analytical page. So things looks pretty good. Come here in the analytical page, and here we have that entire HTML. So this is the entire component we need. This is the one we need. So simply close this one and copy, comment this one, copy and paste here. Now we have to simply feed the data in this particular HTML. So we want to make the image dynamically. So we'll say I+1. Then we have to display the number. So we'll change this as well. Then we have to display the amount. So we'll do one thing. Take this dynamic data, we'll say transaction dot token, and we have to convert it in ether. So we'll have to multiply with 18, and otherwise it will be amount, and otherwise it will be claim token. So I hope you guys understood that why I built this logic. Means we claim the reward, then we have to display this particular message. So that's the dynamic block we have, and here we have to display the value. So we'll display the transaction dot the token, and we have to convert it into a ether in a decimal point, otherwise none. Let's display the gas cost. We have the gas used. This is the status, transaction dot status, looking fine. And this transaction we have already built, we don't need to do anything in here, and we are not connected our JavaScript file, so we have to connect that one. So let's connect that first. Come back here in the staking file, and we have to simply grab this one, and that's what we have to paste here. And I hope this time everything would be great. Now what we have to do is, so we have connected this entire file. Now we have to connect the actual file, user transaction file. So we'll say data, and we'll take this one and we'll simply remove this one, go back to the data. Inside the data we have this user transaction, and we don't need these two, so simply remove that one, remove this one. So our file is connected, and if you come back here, you can see our pop-up message is displaying because we are trying to fetch the information and it's giving us this error message. So simply comment this one, and now this error notification is gone and looks fine. Now our dynamic component is ready, and we have to simply call that one. So we'll call this contract transaction list in a HTML, and we'll pass the dynamic component user transaction history, and this will actually display our data in the front end. Reload the browser. Okay, something's wrong because we have the data here. If you come back to the console, and here you can see we are getting this error message, cannot set properties of undefined. Don't need to worry about that. And if you do the inspect element, come back here in the source code, and here we are getting this error message. If you come here, so we are trying to fetch the balance, and because of that we are getting an error. So things are looking pretty good, but this is the one which causing the issue. So let's do the inspect elements one more time. Here we have the entire data. So So for the time being, I'm stopping this video. In the next video, we'll try to fix this out, that why our data is not displaying. And we are almost done with this project. So we have only one page to work on, that is the front end, but all the logic is working absolutely fine. So with that, let's move to the next video.